This is the Greg Cote Show with Greg Cote.
Pardon it.
Here's your host, Greg Cote.
Who needs me?
Hey, Brad.
Hello, sir.
Oh, I thought Dad.
How you doing?
Dad, I thought you burped for a second. Did you know, Brad, that my dad says your name when he burps? Have you heard this bit?
No, I didn't. I did not know that.
Well, it's actually not.
I say
it couldn't be less of a bit. But when he burps, like literally, like he'll be like, oh, Brad, like just the noise he makes when he.
Listen, there's certainly there. I'll take that over saying my name during other bodily functions.
Ooh.
So I'll take that.
If you had to have your name said during a bodily function, which would you choose?
Who is saying it? That's very key. If Greg Cote's saying it, I'll take a burp. I think burp is on the Family Feud board. It might be the number one answer. Yeah. If it's if it's Margot Robbie, changes the answer.
I feel I say Jeffrey when I shit. It's weird.
That is weird. Weirder than Brad.
Who is Jeffrey? I just need to know that though.
No, that's it. Who's Brad? Before you were here, like why, Dad? You've been saying it since before we knew Brad Williams. Like, where did Brad come from?
Well, it's a generic sound that some people say sounds like the word Brad.
Wow.
I mean, I'm not
what?
I'm not really saying Brad. It's like, you know.
Hey, I'll take it as a badge of honor. Now if we could just say it into a microphone and say like what, it's like Brad has a new special called Starfish on YouTube.
There
Please watch it. Now we're doing it. Because it's all about the plug-in, all about the content and all about getting eyeballs on your stuff. I assume that's why you have me on your podcast, to have more eyeballs.
Dude,
yes, for sure.
I actually want to talk about why you're on our podcast, because obviously you're a friend of the show. You've been on many times.
Sure.
But my dad, he requested you. This is why I think every other time, safe to say, Dad, Brad Williams has been a Chris idea. But this time it was like, hey, call Brad. We got to talk. And I hope, and for the record, because this is like a project that my dad wants, he sees that you're in a project and he wants to talk about it. Now, I hope, because this is the reason he really wanted to have you on, I hope you're embargoed from talking about this. Like, I hope that you can't talk about it yet.
I think I can pick the project just based on the fact that Greg Cote, in his age group, I think I know the project.
Yes.
He wants to talk Spinal Tap 2.
Yes, that's exactly right. I can't tell you how excited I am. I mean, I was still a young man when This Is Spinal Tap came out, and and now I'm looking down the list of stars: Christopher Guest, Harry Shearer, Fran Drescher, Paul Schaefer, and there's Brad Williams, and then I see that there's apparently cameos by Elton John and Paul McCartney and Garth Brooks, and it just sounds like such an exciting sequel, 50, 40 years later. And I truly wanted to talk to you about it.
The question is, what was Elton like?
I can talk a little bit about certain things. I can't say everything. Once the movie's out, you'll have to have me back on the podcast for more stories, because then I can say some really fun behind the scenes stuff. But I can say this. I can't say what my part is in the film. I can say that if you've seen the original movie, it's not hard to figure out what I'm doing. So that's like, I can't say what I'm doing, but if you've seen Spinal Tap 1, which Spinal Tap is one of these timeless films. It's one of these, like, I don't care. You didn't have to be a certain age when it came out. Like, everyone who's ever toured has watched This Is Spinal Tap, because it sets up touring life perfectly. And I can say that that I'm in the movie, but also Wee Man is in the movie, which once again makes it pretty obvious what we're doing in the film. But then I'm excited about that because people will finally figure out we're two different people. I'm stoked to be in the same camera shot, and unless they think it's like an Olsen twin thing or like a Eddie Murphy thing where like one scene I was talking to a tennis ball and the other scene I was over here. But
and didn't Lindsay Lohan play two people in one movie?
Yeah, Parent Trap in the Parent Trap. I can say that I'll tell this story. Okay, I think I can say this story because it doesn't have anything to do with plot because he's already been announced. So, like you said, Elton John. Yeah, he's in the film. So I'm not surprising anyone with a certain cameo.
Right.
So there's a scene in which Elton John is in, and I am in, and Wee Man is in as well. And the scene has a live audience, and in between takes, the audience starts first. They start yelling at Wee Man, and he kind of waves and does the thing. And then one guy yells out, "I love you, Brad Williams." And then more people start yelling out Brad Williams, and like they start clapping and cheering and stuff. And I'm kind of waving like, "Hey, thank you, thank you." Elton John turns around, looks at me, and goes, "Who the f are you?"
Oh, I thought it was going to be, "Who the f is Brad Williams?" But that's, oh my God.
But yeah, Elton John looks at me and says, "Who the f are you?" So,
that is my dad's wet dream right there, dude. My dad's favorite artist of all time. He's seen him like dozens of times in concert is Elton John. So this is
you've seen Elton.
Yeah, I have seen Elton. He's pretty much a famously bad actor. Like he's great sitting at a piano, but I've seen him in a couple of other films and everything.
Yeah,
and he's.
I will say this once again. I won't give away anything, but he went for it in Spinal Tap 2. I was sitting. I thankfully I wasn't on camera because I definitely broke a couple of times during his during what he was doing when I was there for it. Didn't get a chance to really talk to him, but he was great. I think it's great. I think the guys set him up for success, and it was really such a cool thing to be like when you're on set and then you hear over the PA system or you hear over the director's assistants going, "Hey, Elton is coming to set." You're just like,
yeah,
what are we doing?
That's pretty cool.
What is this life? And like, because I still look at myself as just, I mean, I've been doing comedy for 20 years, but I still look at myself as the guy that started. Like the fact that I'm barely above open micer at all is shocking to me. And but I still have that mindset. So the fact that I'm sitting there and they're like, Elton John is coming to set. And then the fact that you looked at me and said, "Who the f are you?" That's a perfect moment. Because, by the way, I agree, Elton. You should not know who the f I am. I'm not that guy. It's like you should know. No, and there's so many other guest stars in this film because once they announced the sequel, I'm sure the phone just rang off the hook, and anyone and everyone if Cheech and Chong ever did another one, the amount of people that would be like, "I don't care what I'm doing, just." Right. Let me be in the movie. So the fact that I'm in the film, the fact that I'm in the film mostly because Christopher Guest, I've worked with him before, and I guess I did an okay job because he remembered me. I was in the movie Mascots, which is on Netflix, and I did that, and he liked it. So when the scene called for a dwarf, he's like, "I know a guy."
Now, how does this rank in your career? I mean, here's Rob Reiner, a famous director. Yeah. This is going to be a major film when it comes out in late spring, early summer. We keep hearing. Yeah. Where does this rank on sort of a pinch me moment where like here I am sitting next to Elton John or just anything like that?
Yeah, definitely top 5.
Being in the shipping container.
I mean, sure. That's obviously number one. Being there on 2 iconic episodes for 2 completely different reasons.
What was it? Dan's brothers passed, and what else?
I was there the day that Lebo unfortunately passed away, and that was awkward.
Yes. I think the way that worked is like Lucy was in that day and Dan walked in. He's just like, we're going to do the show and we're going to start with just these four. And it was like the people that were there the longest. And we were like, I think something's up today.
Something's amiss. Yeah. And then that was announced. And that is the second most awkward introduction I've ever had in my career. I will give you the most awkward. Being there for that unfortunate day probably had the bigger audience, but the most awkward introduction I ever had in my career was early in my career. I got hired to do stand-up comedy at a wedding, and you should never take that gig.
When do they have you go? Like after cocktail hour? Like before? Like what's?
So I was scheduled to go on after the maid of honor and best man speeches. And I thought, great, I have opening acts. Great. They can set the bar. They can kind of get people in the mood of laughing. People will be paying attention. Awesome. That's what I thought. Then the best man does a speech. Great speech. Then the maid of honor goes up. Now, this is just, once again, unfortunate timing, much like being in the shipping container that day. The mother of the bride had passed away a week before the wedding. And the maid of honor is the sister of the bride. So she goes on now, to her credit. Wow, what a speech. Great speech. Not a lot of humor, but just powering through it. And a lot of emotion, and everyone in the audience, who I'm assuming also knows the mom, is sobbing. Everyone's in tears, and she ends the toast with just like, "We know mom's looking down, and you look so beautiful in your dress, and so let's all raise a glass." And and it's this big crescendo, but big emotional moment. And I'm exaggerating absolutely nothing when I say this. Okay? Nothing will be exaggerated. She does the speech, she toasts, then she stops and goes, "And now the comedy of Brad Williams."
I don't know, my God, dude.
And just hands me the microphone.
Like, I think...
And I'm coming up like... All right. That's well, I hate to say for this set I'm going to be killing, because it's already happened. So that was the most awkward.
I love the creative idea of having a comedian at a wedding, but when mom dies the week before, I think I'm punting on that. I think I'm like, this idea that we had that was good, let's rearrange some things and maybe
yeah, I would agree. And or just give me a heads up.
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of like I've done corporate gigs before where they tell me like, "Hey, the CEO doesn't like
this
X, or doesn't like swearing, or
doesn't like Biden, something like that." Yeah.
CEO's wife just left him for a dwarf. Maybe lay off the whatever little person material.
Once again, bad decision to have Brad.
Exactly. But so that was the most awkward. Dan's was the second awkward. But to go back to the original question, in terms of pinch you, holy crap moments. Spinal Tap, way up there. The most surreal pinch me moment of my life was I did a show at the Throckmorton Theater in Mill Valley, California. Mill Valley is just north of San Francisco. It's where a lot of really wealthy people live. And the Throckmorton Theater is about a 200-seat theater. It's very small art house theater. And I'm doing a show there. And I come backstage after my show, and I'm in the green room. And through the green room door bursts Robin Williams. Robin happened to be in the audience that night. He lived in Mill Valley. Robin is a hero of mine. And he bursts through the door, runs right up to me, and just goes, "Oh my God, Mr. Williams, you're like Prozac with a head." And
dude,
done.
That is awesome.
Done. That's my life. That, like, no matter what happens in my life, that is the moment. And just so you know my appreciation for Robin, this is my office.
Oh, dude.
Oh, wow.
So those are two One is a painting a fan made of Robin Williams and gave to me. And then the other is an Aladdin poster. And if you look on the bottom, your left, it says, "Your wish is my command." And it's signed by Robin.
Dude.
So so that like.
And when did that happen?
That happened in 2018. Now I'm going to tell a follow-up part to that story. And Greg, you're going to love this. Chris will not give a shit.
Oh, yeah.
So
I like it already.
Yes. So Robin invites me to his show the next day. He's doing a show at the same theater. He's running some material. Wait, no, it wasn't 2018 because he died.
I was about to say, dude, he died in 14.
Yeah, so definitely not 2018. I caught it.
What I was asking, I was really asking,
is that a $50 fine? I don't know.
Because you, it seems like you did this early in your career, like, but not like you had made it, but like, yeah, like that's he saw you early.
Yeah.
Or midway through, because you said you've been doing this 20 years. So, yeah.
Yeah. So it was somewhere around between 2008 and 2014. Let's say that.
You said 2018, by the way, first.
Yeah. See, Greg, you get older and you don't know time. Like 5 years ago seems like last week.
I'm not going to lie, dude. When you were telling my dad you're going to really like this story, I'm over here typing. I'm like, Robin Williams' death. 2014. And I'm like, something.
I know.
Anyway. Yeah, something's amiss. It was an impersonator. So the next day, he invites me and my opening act to go to his show. And we go to the show at the same theater, at the small theater, where there's some really rich people that are in this audience because it's a small theater. Robin Williams, it's in like a big money area. And there's 2 seats reserved in the front row. And everyone's like, it's Robin Williams. Who's there? Who's in the front row? All these giants of tech are sitting around going, who the hell did he get? Who's coming here? And then me and my opening act just walk down, and then it's us sitting in those seats. I imagine everyone's very disappointed. Either that or they saw me and thought, oh, it's a Make-A-Wish kid. It was before my beard, so I looked younger.
Oh, man.
So we watched Robin, and then obviously it was phenomenal. It was great. And then we go backstage. Backstage is Robin Williams is talking with a comedian named Arj Barker, who's huge in Australia, very, very popular. Also talking with Dana Carvey. And here's the one where Greg will light up. Chris, I don't know. Also talking with Mort Saul.
Yes.
No clue.
That guy was a revolutionary. He was like big in the day. 60s. We're talking about.
So Mort Saul.
What does he do? Yeah, what does he do?
Comedy. He is a guy that when people say like, oh, this guy's so funny, he could read the newspaper and still be funny. That's literally what Mort Saul would do. He would go on stage and read the newspaper and then crack jokes in real time. And it was great. And it, like a revolutionary, I would almost call him a humorist, which like puts that above stand-up comedian.
No, you're right. It's like Mark Twain territory almost.
Yeah.
Is it fair to say that he was one of the forefathers of what you'd call political humor? Because that's the way I remember him. Yes.
He was really big on like making fun of Nixon and a few others. So so it's Robin, Mort Saul, Dana Carvey, Arj Barker, like they're all talking
That's
comedy.
Awesome.
And I'm just grabbing my opening act going, don't say anything.
Yeah.
Don't say, because I don't want to be like
maybe writing notes, just literally like writing down everything they're saying.
Yes. So that moment is the most surreal pinch me moment of my entire career. But
that's wild.
Yeah. But doing the stuff with Spinal Tap is way up there. Like you do this job, and I'm sure you guys both have been in moments like this where like you got into sports journalism and sports media because I assume you guys like sports.
Yeah.
You guys like it. So the fact that you get to be there for Super Bowls, World Series, Stanley Cups, whatever. Like, it's just very surreal. I got into comedy because I love comedy. I'm a huge fan. And so when I get to be hanging out with certain comedians, I'm just sitting back going, I can't believe I'm here. Tomorrow, I'm doing a comedy fantasy camp as we're recording this tomorrow. There's a comedy fantasy camp, and I'm doing it with Jay Leno, where you can sign up and be like, "Hey, thinking about being a comedian, or I just want to have a fun story. I want to have comedy lessons from Jay Leno and Brad Williams," and I'm mentioned in the same breath, and it's just weird. And I'm gonna hang out with Jay Leno tomorrow and tell people, and he's gonna say something about how to do comedy, and then people will look at me and go, "Well, what do you have to say, Brad Williams?" What?
Yeah,
that's weird. Also,
that's so great.
I'll get some inside info on him falling down that hill for you.
I was going to say.
Yeah, seriously. Please do. And report back to the show on that. Brad, before we leave this subject, I have to ask you a little bit more about that moment when this is a while ago. So you're a young up and coming comedian. You're probably not sure at that stage in your career how great you are, how good you are. And you've got a hero of yours, Robin Williams, coming in and embracing your humor. That had to be an emotional moment for you, I'm guessing.
Very. I have a photo of it. We have a wall in the house that just says family, and every photo is of family or very close friends. And Robin is the one photo. Me and Robin is the one photo that's not an immediate family member or a very close friend on that wall. And yeah, it meant the world, because if I bombed the next night at wherever I was, I'd be like, you know what? Robin Williams thinks I'm funny.
Yeah.
So, okay. That's you can hang your hat on that for a while. So yeah, to answer your question, it was just so surreal. And I remember calling my dad and just being like, "Robin Williams, I'm Prozac with a head." And then of course my dad laughs, and it's still a great joke. Just Prozac with a head. Just a great observation.
No, that is. It's hilarious.
Yeah. So the fact that that's happening, it's just surreal, and it just kind of validates the decision to be a comedian. Because when you start doing comedy, there's no guarantee that you're gonna be whatever you think successful is. There's no.
It's the opposite of that.
Yeah, it's probably not gonna happen. Yeah. The odds are not in your favor. So to have moments like that just makes you go, oh yeah, when I dropped out of college with 1 year left and my parents were like, you need to go back, as they should have been. And I said, no, I really like this comedy stuff. That was kind of the validation of I made the right call. Yeah. So wow. It was just a really cool moment. And every now and then, if I have a weird set or a bad set or something that I didn't like, I try to think back to those types of moments to go, no, I'm okay. Like Greg, I'm sure every now and then when you're just like, I don't know if I have another column in me, you just read that fire or trade Marino column, and then you're like, yes, I can fire one of these off. Come on. The guy still got it.
That's how he did make David overrated. He looked at that Marino thing and he's like,
"That's true.
I can do another one of those. I can do that
what
again."
Can I say that's just patently ridiculous? That's going to get a lot of eyeballs. I mean, what's next?
I just loved Robin Williams. By the way, you got me thinking about him now. That his special with all the water bottles, with the 100 water balls,
live on Broadway,
is one of my favorite comedy specials ever.
The golf bit is a top 5
dude
bit of all time. Good. Of just how did they create the game of golf? If you haven't seen it, if you're listening to this podcast, I assume you're a sports fan. Hit pause.
Yeah.
Go and listen to the Robin Williams creation of golf bit.
I'm gonna watch that entire special.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go watch that entire special.
Yeah, it's just fantastic.
It's no Starfish, but it's up there.
It's something. Now with almost 4 million views, I think the Greg Cote show with Greg Cote, I think that'll get me over the 4 million view hump. So
yes,
it's known in the industry as the Greg Cote bump. We all talk about it.
Yeah,
thank you. Well, you're the official comedian of the Greg Cote show. I hope you don't mind that designation.
Well, yeah. Until Chris finally follows through with his word and opens up for me, which he said he wants to do.
I am. It's been a busy year, Brad.
You and David Samson. David Samson also wants to open up for me.
David Samson does not scream comedian when you see him, or
just please beat David Samson to the punch. Don't make Samson the first member of the show to open up before me. Okay. Please.
Well, Brad, Christopher is doing a small opening act in early May because his younger brother is getting married and he's the best man.
That's true.
So sometime between now, I would be surprised if between now and May, Christopher did not hit you up for a couple of wedding appropriate.
Tell me something meaningful about my brother. Yeah.
Hey, that is, I would say that, like, I've done shows in front of the largest individual, the largest crowd I ever performed in front of. This was a group thing, not my own show, but like a bunch of comedians on a show. Was 22,000 people. 22,000. Wow. The most nervous you'll ever be is for best man speeches or funeral speeches. Those are the most pressure you will ever feel. And now it's like, as a professional comedian, that's even worse for me because they go like I had to speak at my father's funeral. That was the most pressure ever because not only am I eulogizing the man I love, but I'm doing it with everyone in the audience going, "Oh, he's the comedian. This is going to be good."
Yeah, like, that is true. That's true. You don't want that.
That's a lot of pressure.
Yeah,
I don't want to do that. But yeah. So yeah, that's going to be a lot. That's going to be a lot of pressure for you.
I'm actually not that nervous about it because a couple months ago, my dad turned 70, and my mom pressured the shit out of me to like get up and make a big speech. So I felt really nervous for that one, and I crushed it. So I'm like. I kind of like almost like it almost did feel like getting up that first time. Like so I feel like I almost did because I really was for someone who speaks into mics like regularly. Everyone was really surprised. Like I was super nervous before doing that.
Did you plan it or did your mom just go get up there and talk?
Oh no. It was a planned thing. My mom's like,
okay.
I was like, she's like, you and your brother are gonna go up, like, and you need to say something at this. So we like planned a whole thing, and it was funny. Like we did well. So like that honestly did make me like I'm not as nervous now as I think I would have been for my like because
now just imagine everyone in the audience of a Greg Cote's 70th birthday party is familiar with you and loves Greg. And then I'm assuming loves you as well.
Yeah, imagine if no one knows anything. Nobody knows me, right?
That's the deal. No one's going to know shit about you. I mean, maybe...
That's why I'm scared, Brad.
Yeah, you can plug it on the show and
I don't want to do that.
And hopefully you'll get some Levitard fans out there. But see, if you plug it on the show... You know Dan's going to be like, well, let's film the set and then like break it down game film style, which you do not want for your very first time on stage.
No. Exactly.
So don't advertise it on the show. Yeah. Just do it and then say you did it. And then that's the best way to go.
Yeah.
I hope it happens where Christopher gets to open for you.
Before David Samson, let's just put that caveat in there.
I need that motivation.
Like, Samson told me that, and I kind of was like, "What?" and he goes, "No, because he's doing this. He was touring for a second, going to city wineries all across the country.
Oh yeah,
and he said that he thought he was getting the hang of it, so he wants to do just like for a guy. I mean, I'm a dwarf and." Jokes don't go over my head the way they go over David Samson. Like
I was just about to say, I have my like the way I feel about David has just gone in the upward direction for like years now. But I've never considered the guy to be funny. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe and he's a smart guy. Maybe he could do comedy. Maybe I'm underestimating him. But I don't. I've never thought to myself, man, he'd be a good stand-up comedian.
I would love to be surprised.
Yeah, same.
I hope that I am surprised.
Now, while with me, we're like, that's just a stand-up comedian waiting to break out. I mean, it's just
all
like
over. I mean, because you have so much that because
good timing.
Comedy is pain plus time
Yep.
So God knows that you've had some pain in your life.
A lot of pain.
You know, having to follow in your father's footsteps in the sports media.
The shadow is so dark.
Yes, it really is. Christopher, I dare you to tell Brad your cake joke.
Well, Dad, that's a stupid. That I made it. It's like the most dad jokey open to a.
Yes. It's I love cake joke. I love dad jokes.
It's the best man speech. It's, hey, thank you all for being here. What a day, huh? Like, just beautiful day. The bride looks beautiful. I mean, honestly, it's an emotional day. I mean, look, even the cake's in tears.
Oh, okay. There you go.
It's terrible. It's terrible. It's terrible.
I got it.
That will not be my opener. That will not be the opener.
It's so funny because we talk. You talk about dad jokes, and my wife and I were at a dinner the other night with a bunch of friends, and my wife kind of like rolled her eyes and was like, "Oh, he's always just telling these dad jokes all the time." And I go, "Yes." Yes, I am. A, I'm a dad. B, if I tell the jokes that are really going through my head, then I get the elbow to the ribs and shoved and then I get the then I get the clutching of pearls. Yes. So that's why I'm telling the most inoffensive, dumb jokes out there, because I know those are safe.
And my dad makes us listen to dad jokes every week. You should have done them with Brad. You don't have them right now, do you, Dad?
No, I don't. No.
But before you joined us, Brad, I was trying to explain to my dad what the shit chat is because of like what happened right before here. I know it's like a little.
So, how do we start this?
Yeah.
What's a shit chat?
It's a chat.
It's a chat. It's a bunch of friends making sure that everyone stays regular.
Yep.
Okay. I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit if any of my friends stay regular.
Wow.
Well, you wouldn't be good in the chat then.
Yeah. No, I've honestly been bad at it. These guys are on a roll. Like a couple of guys are shitting like multiple times a day.
Yeah. So whenever you take a shit, you just put a little poop emoji in the chat. And the rule is no pictures. You cannot have pictures. Right. That's the unspoken but agreed upon rule. And right before we got on to do this podcast, I got a text from Chris saying I need 5 to 8 minutes, and then right after that, his poop emoji popped up in the chat. I was like, "Oh, great! I know what's happening."
So now he knows exactly why I needed the 5 to 8 minutes. It ended up coming under. I think it was like 4 to 5 minutes. It's sometimes you never know. You always want to. Yeah. You always want to bill a little extra time just in case.
Sure. You were a baby bird pooper. You just can't. You came right in, dive bombed and left.
My dad would call it a QK, is what you would call a quick crap.
Yeah, patent pending. Are there unwanted details provided? Like this was a quick crap. I was only on the can. I refer to the toilet bowl as the ring of honor.
Nobody shares details.
You're only sitting there for 15 seconds.
It's Amin. Amin shares the most details, I'd say. But everybody,
Amin is the worst. If you're at breakfast and you get a notification that Amin has posted in the chat, wait. Just wait till after breakfast. He won't do any photos, thank God, but he does use words like viscous.
Yes.
Of course he does.
Dad, you'll be happy to know that Brad on this 23rd day of January has taken 29 dumps this year.
Yeah.
Wow, more than one a day, huh? Yeah. You're a super regular guy.
Yeah.
See? Now you discounted the shot, but now when we give you stats and numbers, you're like, hey,
I love that. I love that. I had a friend of mine, Christopher. You remember the late great Jake Jacobson?
Yes,
a friend of mine passed away a few years ago.
Yeah, it really is. Truly. We also know a Ben Benson.
We do. Jake's father used to keep a lifelong statistical log, and I don't use the word log, it just happens to be, of everything he did in the way of movies he attended, times he went to the bathroom. He was like obsessive compulsive or whatever you call it.
He was anal, one might say.
Yeah, you could say that.
Yeah, the fact that Samson is not in the chat, I feel like that's something that he would actually, because every time I hear him on the show, he's making a graph and he's charting something and he's keeping track of all these things. And I feel like that's something that would benefit him.
I imagine he has a shit chat with himself where he just texts his own number. Like, I've shit.
That's very true. Yeah. So, but and like we said, it's one of these things where you think it's disgusting and it's gross. If you start one with your friends, you'll be surprised how into it you get.
Yeah,
it's and like we check on certain members of the chat if we haven't seen an emoji in a few days. We'll be like, "Oh wow, hey man, you okay? Doing okay?"
And and it's an honest group. Like you'll see sometimes like, "Hey, forgot to report earlier," and then like you'll see a delayed emoji where it's like, "I'm not shitting right now, but I did it earlier and I forgot to report it, so here it is."
Yeah, we try to keep each other honest, and we feel it's the best for the friendship.
We haven't added anyone. Should I add my dad?
Go for it.
No, I don't want. Like that's a big move. Like I'm gonna have to talk to the group and see how they feel. But
I have to be vetted. I have to qualify for it.
But would you be willing?
An august group.
Would you be willing to report every time you shit to the group chat?
I probably wouldn't think to. I don't. When I'm on the can, the last thing I'm thinking of is communicating.
What do you do on the can? Because you're not a guy. I mean, look, I know it's kind of gross, but I bring my phone in there. Like I do it. And I don't see you, Dad, as someone who does. So what are you doing when you're in there?
I take the quickest craps imaginable. Like I'm not somebody who luxuriates in my time alone on the can. I'm doing my business, giving it a couple of wipes, and then I'm up and out.
Okay.
What am I doing? You triple flush, you do all that stuff, and then you're gone.
All right.
He's got. I mean. Despite the fact that we're in a chat, he's got shit to do.
Yeah. Like he's got loose ends he's got to tie up. That's another thing he does to me all the time. Like, Dad, you want to go to lunch? Like, let's go now. I'm hungry. I got to leave in like 15 minutes. I got to tie up some loose ends. What are you doing in that time? Like, besides putting your shoes on, like what actual loose ends are being tied?
I'm a busy man, Brad. You've got loose ends. You got.
I have loose ends, but to me, when I hear I've got loose ends to tie up, I think
you have to shit. I think you have to shit.
Oh, you have to to me, loose ends is a major thing. Like, hey, I've got to put the final details onto my last will and testament and send it to a notary. Like that's that's what gets into my head if someone says, "Hey, I got some loose ends I got to tie up." I'm like, "Oh, you got to go find an alibi for the murder you just did." like that's what I think of when I hear I've got some loose ends to tie up. I don't think, "Hey, I've got to pay this bill. I've got to tie my shoes. I've got to quick stretch. I've got to no, I'm thinking of major items that you have going on. Like, hold on, I got some loose ends. Dog died. I got to bury it in the backyard. Like that's what I'm thinking.
I guarantee you this is what your loose ends are. You hang up with me. You walk into your office, you upload Megaphone, you reload to see what the latest episode's downloads are, and then you go into the bathroom, you pee, and then you put your shoes on, and then you leave.
Those are loose ends.
But that's just called being a human. Like, you don't have to say I need 10 minutes there. You could just be like, all right, let's go. I'm ready to leave. I don't expect you to go from the phone call and walk directly out the door. I know that you need to close out something on your computer and then put your shoes on. Like, that part is unspoken. You don't need to call those loose ends.
I love to call it loose ends. It makes me seem more important than I am.
Christ.
I like it. I mean, like, I like it, Greg.
I want you to use it. I want you to promise us, Brad Williams, promise this podcast that over the next 2 weeks, you will use that with your wife of like when she asks you to do something, be like, and then just report back on what she says when you tell her you have some loose ends to tie up.
I can assure you that I will do that. I could give you a prediction on how that will go. And that is, she'll say, "Hey, bring our daughter down. Can you wake up our daughter and bring her down for breakfast?" And I'll be like, "I got some loose ends to tie up." And then she'll say, "Yeah, like planning your funeral after that." So I will let you know how it goes, and I will be as honest as I am in the chat with my reporting to make sure that it is real and it is authentic.
Brad, before we let you go, I want to mention your tour coming up. I think starts in March, right, and goes most of the year.
I haven't announced the show yet, but I have New Year's Eve 2025. That's how far I am planned out. It's called the Growth Spurt Tour. You can go to bradwilliamscomedy.com and see all the dates. I'm doing quite a few Florida dates. I'm not doing a Miami one, but I'm doing a Fort Lauderdale one. So I'll go say hi to the I'll go say hi to the Stanley Cup champion Panthers.
That's our area. That's where we actually live, Fort Lauderdale.
Yeah, we want to go.
Maybe that'll be the show that Chris makes his debut.
Not gonna happen.
Whoa! Huge theater. It'll be a huge theater. It'll be like 1,200 seats.
No. I'll be in those seats that you were in for Robin Williams. Like, I'll be the one walking in. They're gonna be like, "Who the is this guy?" It's like, it's just Brad's friend.
Yeah.
That's excellent. That's exciting.
But it's a big tour. I moved from comedy clubs to theaters in the last 2 years, and it's been fantastic. The fans are awesome. They're to be in a theater and have everyone be there for you, not like a comedy club where sometimes they're just there because it's like, let's go to the comedy club that night, or they're in the strip mall and they're wondering what to do after dinner. They're like, oh, it's a comedy show. Like, it's like, no, this is the night out. They have planned this. They've paid for parking. They've gotten a babysitter.
The Jerry Seinfeld bit of, you did it. You made it.
Yeah.
You planned this, and you're here.
Yeah,
that's right.
And I've noticed that with my audiences now that we moved to theaters, they're more invested in the show. Whereas in a comedy club, if some stuff goes wrong and you get kicked out of a comedy club, I'll go home and I'll tell the story to someone the next day.
Right.
You're out in the theater. You're out in that theater. That is the show, and I am digging it, man.
That's
I am
awesome.
loving the theaters, and I read somewhere that people go to on average. This is average. 3 concerts a year. So the fact that anyone is putting my show up there with their 3 concerts a year, bless you all. Thank you. That is a big honor, and I do not take it lightly. So I will give you the darndest show that I can. Chris has seen my show a few times.
Oh yeah.
So he can tell you I put some effort in,
bro.
Yeah, Brad. At this point in your career, what is the mindset you bring on stage? I'm very curious about this because is it like super confident walking on stage, or is there like a healthy nervousness still, or like what's your emotion?
So when I'm on stage, I've been doing it 20 years. I'm confident that I'm good at this. So it's not like, will I be good? Will they laugh? When I go on stage now, it's just, what do I have to work on? I don't like to go on stage and just mindlessly go through whatever the routine is. I like to always have something that I'm working on, either be refining a bit or writing a new bit where it's like, I need to work on this new joke. So let me get these jokes out of the way that I know work, get the audience laughing, and then let's try the new one. So it's just, what am I working on? That's normally what the mindset is. But I do, especially at these theaters, I like to take time when they bring the lights up and I can actually see the audience and just go, holy shit, that's a lot of people. And this is really cool, because when I started doing comedy, I thought to myself, if I could be a touring headliner, I will be happy. If I'm just touring around the country, headlining small comedy clubs, I will be happy, mission accomplished. Anything after that is it's just bonus. And so this is an incredible bonus to be able to do theaters and have these types of audiences. And come see the guy who Robin Williams called Prozac with a head.
That's excellent. That should have been the name of your tour.
Yeah.
Prozac with a head.
We'll get there.
Let's go.
Where are you playing in Fort Lauderdale? Do you happen to know the theater name?
Off the top of my head, I don't know. I will get that information to you. It's one of the theaters there.
Good job, Dad. Way to really, put him on the spot.
It's fine. It hasn't been announced yet. It hasn't been announced yet. So
I was gonna say, I didn't see it on your website. I was looking at the cities.
I will. It will be announced, and there will be some dates there, and I'll let you guys know the theater so you know where you can see Chris Cote make his stand-up comedy debut. Not
excellent.
Not at the Chuckle Hut. No, he's going to whatever the theater is. Chris has told me he's going to talk to the Florida Panthers. They're going to bring the Stanley Cup out on stage. It's going to be amazing.
Wow.
Oh, they would do that. If you want the Stanley Cup on stage, believe me, I know people with the Panthers. So does Christopher. We can make that happen.
If the cup made it to the elbow room, why not make it to a Brad Williams show?
I love my dad having me with all this power. I haven't gotten my hands on that goddamn thing yet. And you think I could just get it to Brad's show?
I think we can pull a string and make that happen. Yes.
Let's
I'm going to promise that. If you want the cup, you got the cup.
Yeah. I love that.
So when is, as we let you go, Brad, when is the red carpet premiere for Spinal Tap 2?
They have not given me a date yet, but they have some times where they're like, we're thinking about this date. All I know is I will be free. I don't care what I got going on during that time. I'll be on that red carpet. You will see me with there will be a Sir Elton John, a Sir Paul McCartney, a Dave Grohl, a Garth Brooks.
So you would reschedule a show for this?
Absolutely.
How does that work? Have you had to do that before? Like, have you ever missed a show because you were sick?
Not because I was sick, but because something came up and it could not be missed, and I had to reschedule a show. I hate doing it. I hate rescheduling shows, especially now that it's in theaters where it's like if it's like 62 people that were there for the Thursday night show at a comedy club, I still feel bad, but not like I would for 1,200 people at a theater. And there's a bunch of logistical things that also have to happen that are frustrating. So I try to never cancel shows, but sorry for anyone that is unfortunate enough to have a show that weekend. Whatever I got is moving.
They get it. I think they get it.
You have to. Yeah. What an experience that'll be. That's terrific.
Man. And then I will report back to the Greg Cote Show podcast with Greg Cote, and I will tell you all about that premiere and anything else that happens that is Spinal Tap related.
Now, as we're literally leaving this right now to go to our Sunday night recap of football that we'll do later in the week. So I think as we end this with Brad Williams, we should all give our really quick predictions for these two football games, and we'll see immediately after that if we were right or wrong. I'm going Bills, and I think that they do it. I think the Bills do it. I think the Chiefs, they haven't looked like the Chiefs this year. I feel like that finally catches up with them, and I like the Eagles in a close one. The Commanders cover. The Commanders cover. Eagles win by like a field goal. Greg, go.
Okay. I should say something different just to be different, but I too think the Bills are going to win.
Just say what you think.
I have no question the Eagles are going to win, and I don't think it'll be particularly close. I think the Eagles are clearly better than Washington. Saquon Barkley against that Commanders' run defense is going to run all day, all night, whenever the game is.
Whenever the game is. I'm a Broncos fan, so the thought of the Chiefs winning a third Super Bowl in a row makes me sick. So I will go Bills. And then you know what? Just for fun, let's say the rookie QB gets it done. Yeah. Let's say the Commanders. I have a few friends that are lifelong Commanders fans, previously other team names, and one thing I tell them is your team is likable again. Which is so great. Once Snyder sold the team, they're likable. Now I root for the Commanders. I root for their fans. I root for that area because before I didn't want them to win because Snyder was such a prick. Now that he's gone, I mean, I'm sure if you look into the new owner's past, it's not only going to be just sunshine and lemon drops. There'll be something, but the type of dude that Dan Snyder is just so appalling that I'm so glad that he's gone, and I'm so glad that we can root for this team again. And if you're not a Cowboys or Eagles or Giants fan, but let's go Bills, let's go Commanders. Despite the fact that Jaden's probably going to beat my Bo Nix for Offensive Rookie of the Year, he's an exciting player, and let's go for that Super Bowl.
Now, I know it's impossible to get an honest answer here from you because this team has you in their pocket because they treat you like a king whenever you go there. But
yes, they do.
Give me your honest assessment of Bo Nix. Do you actually how I know obviously you're buying it and you're into it, but is he's just good, right? He's not going to be Joe Burrow.
The thing is he did what he did this year. Think about who he did it with. Like, there's some great offensive linemen on that team, but in terms of the receivers, with all due respect to Cortland Sutton and Mims, he's not doing it with like that receiver that makes you go like that Jamar Chase, that Justin Jefferson, that bona fide wide receiver one, and his ability to extend plays. I never felt he was panicking whenever he would run out of the pocket. He'd be cool, calm, and collected. I put him somewhere between Tannehill and Joe Burrow. And so, like,
a wide margin.
He's better. I think he's going to be better than Tannehill, because Tannehill is that Kirk Cousins where it's like he's good enough to keep the job, but he's not good enough to where you think anything's going to happen. Which is the no man's land for QBs. You almost want bad QB just so you
like
can
the widest range that I've ever heard. Like, you're like, it's either Ryan Tannehill or the best quarterback in history.
Hey, I didn't say
like what
I didn't say Jamarcus Russell, so he's better than Jamarcus Russell.
I think Bo Nix is already more qualified, like already has better career. Like, he's already better than Ryan Tannehill.
Yes. So
I guess that's not true. Tannehill, I forget he brought the Titans to an AFC Championship game.
Yes, he did. Okay, but it's like it's just so thankful as a Broncos fan going through the last 10 years to be like, cool, we've got the guy. Because before it was like we had to ask ourselves questions like, is Brock Osweiler the guy? Is Paxton Lynch the guy? Like, we just going through and going, is he the guy? Is he the guy? But now Bo Nix, the guy. He's the guy. Yeah. So now you can build around him. And I'm
bought and paid for.
I am. And but you even if I wasn't, these are my honest to God feelings. Yeah. It's so like I'm sure you like when the Dolphins got Tua and they had the season last year, you probably were like, cool.
Yeah.
The guy. Yeah. And now, stuff can happen year to year. Don't get me wrong. It doesn't last forever. Daniel Jones had a game.
He did.
We all remember Matt Flynn had a game. Mm-hmm. So
got paid after that.
Game. So stuff can happen, but for the most part, it's a relief knowing that we have the guy. Future looks bright, but for now, I'm hoping for a Bills Commanders Super Bowl.
Yeah, and to close, I think Bo Nix may be the shortest quarterback name in history.
Like, 5 letters.
5 letters.
Oh, I like that.
I'm trying to think. I mean, Tua, but then Tagovailoa. That's long. That might be that is an interesting category. I'm trying to think if anyone's 5 letters. I also want to know if Bo is short for something. Like, is Bo short for Bartholomew? or something vociferous. I don't know a Bo name, but hey, Bo Nix, 5 letters. Okay, So if you're doing the New York Times crossword and it's got 5 letters and they say NFL quarterback, you now have your answer.
I'm actually Zach Stevens, a reporter for the Broncos, tweeted on April 25th, 2024. Bo Nix is the shortest name in NFL history.
Wow!
Seriously?
I just Googled, I looked up shortest names of athlete, and that popped up. Bo Nix is the shortest name in history.
Good for him. Congrats, Bo.
What a poll by Greg Cote.
Yeah,
that is what a poll to be able to identify that.
His 5th, and finally with you, Brad, was finally something interesting.
Yeah, it's a long closing with Brad.
I don't care. It's fun.
No, it's more for our editor because we have we try to keep these episodes under an hour, and we still need to do our football recap.
Bo Nix at 5 letters is staying in. Do not expect that.
That's gold. That's our A list right there.
That's getting aggregated.
No,
it's great.
We're going long this week because this has been good.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Well, great guys.
Thank you, Brad.
Go and do your other jobs. Happy to join you guys. We'll join you again after the Spinal Tap premiere.
Yes. Thank you. I'm excited. I'll be there.
All right. Thanks, guys.
All right, Brad.